It's a Canadian kid, lesson 8, Forging for Noobs. Today we're going to be learning about respawn, attackers, defenders, third person, game scenarios, and all that. So here we go, let's start it up. So we'll just do this on Foundry, because that's where most lessons take place. So, have you ever wondered why you spawn somewhere in which you don't see a spawn point, like what I did right now? The reason is because they're called starting spawn points. Unless they are placed, you will spawn on one of 6 default map spawn points. On some, there may be a little bit more. Usually there's around 4 till 8 default. So normally you see a respawn area, you'll spawn inside them. But when you first start a new game, you won't spawn there. Reason is you gotta go to game type scenario, when in the Forge mode and being host, and switch it over to Slayer, King of the Hill, or whatever game type you're going to be doing. Once you're over there, you'll notice a few new settings. Some of the settings will be starting spawn area. That means when you start the game, you'll spawn at that one, but you'll never spawn there again unless you start a new game and or new round. As you can see, the other thing that you'll probably notice in there, you'll see when we actually start the new round, we won't start the respawns. We'll start at the new starting spawn. See over here. That's really cool about them. And then whenever I die, you'll spawn over here. You can actually switch a team between attackers, defenders, third team, fourth team, fifth team, sixth team, 17, and 8 team. And neutral. Neutral means anyone can have it. First team, attackers means red, defenders mean blue, third team means green, and then just keep following the color order when switching teams. As well as you can select symmetrical or asymmetrical, meaning that if you're doing a symmetrical map, they'll all spawn there, and if it's asymmetrical, they won't. Another thing is, this is called a respawn area. If you lay one of these down, that means any respawns in that area will be whatever the respawn area selector is set as. So even if you have them all on defenders, and you switch the middle thing to attackers, or third team for that matter, they'll all be attackers while that thing's there. You can change the shape of it, you can turn it into a box, a circle, you can adjust the height of it, you can adjust the width, the bottom, the depth. You can make them spawn in 13 order, so you'll spawn in like one set, then the other set, and then the other set. And once you're going to have your symmetry on it. It's the main thing about that. And you see it makes a nice little blue thing. You can move it around wherever you want. Whee! Just drop that. Now we're going to teach you some other stuff. If you go back to change game types, you go to just say infection. We're going to have some new stuff that you hadn't seen before. One is, we're going to lose our old starting spawn points, because this is an infection game. We have to play some new starting spawn points. There we go. You got some for each different game type. So in total, you can get 100 normal spawns and 20 starting spawns for each game type there is. I believe there's 8 types in total. And you got your respawn areas, you got to change them again. And then we'll switch over to something more interesting, like not Slayer. Hit the wrong button there. Let me just... Yeah, I don't think I realized it. There we go. Now I realized I was on Slayer. We'll do Oddball. Oddball is pretty interesting right now. Well, you'll notice I actually have one oddball thing left on the map. See? I hadn't deleted it from before. That's when you were seeing my other video, and that thing, the oddball was stuck in the middle of the box. That's why. As you can see, you can toss it around, flip it upside down. That's where the ball will spawn. As you can see, it has your standard spawn points and all that. 20 for each one, new respawn area thing again. What it has now is ball spawns. This is wherever the ball will spawn. Those things are forge glued items as well as the respawns are. So wherever you lay them, they will stay, whether it's in the air or not. And that's why you can set on them. You can kind of just no settings for them. They're kind of crappy like that. But whatever. And we'll switch over to the next game type. King of the Hill. As you can once it gets again, you'll probably will have new starting spawn points with the lay down, as well as new respawn areas. But what we have that's different are these. These are called hills. You probably know what the hill is already, but as you can see, I still had one left on my map. Didn't delete it fully. So if we just make a hill marker, we can put the hill marker wherever we want. We can also change its direction of flow, so we can actually make it circular, square. We can hold it sideways. We can have it diagonal. We can have a nice big long bloody line that covers the whole map. Or if you just want to play around, you can use it as kind of like a little spotlight. Everyone can see the first one that is made. The second one, they won't be able to see. So you can kind of be like, yay, little spotlight thing if you're interested in making movies. Like a little jailbreak something. Anywho, you can adjust the width of that, make it smaller, like we're tracking down someone. But those are also forge glued too, so you can use them, change them around, put them wherever you want. They usually like to stand straight up in the air, so you might have to use the save in glue glitch to get to go on a sideways angle. And then once you get your spawn points and all that, we'll switch over to something else. Round over. Bom bom bom. And now, as you'll see, we'll have a bunch of random stuff like this. We have our normal spawn areas, and we'll have our normal starting spawn. But what we have different are these. These are flag spots. The round one is where you would capture it, like you would capture for your team. Square one, or plus shaped one, is where you would get the flag. You can put them both on top of each other or not. You choose attackers or defenders. No matter what, you're going to always put attackers and defenders on the same side, because even though it may seem weird, it's not. What these are new. These are a flag at home. That means if you drop one in this area, like dead center, and you look at it, anywhere inside of here, the flag is at home. That's like flag, like it'll be taken, but flag taken, and it's still at home. Then next, what you'll set on there is flag away. Flag away gives a warning that the flag has left the general area, whether it's base or whatever. So once a flag leaves that area, you'll hear the warning, flag away. See, there's one area. There's home. Now if you look at this, there's away. See? It also does the same thing for the bomb and all that too. So, start a new game. As you can see, I've already been to infection. I didn't realize that at first. Ooh, we'll do territories. Here's territories. As you can probably guess, the only thing different is you have territory markers. Yay! Once again, these can be shaped in whatever direction you want to flow them as. There's one left on my map. Also with this today, you can make them square, you can forge glue them. You can make it so you're only in the hill when you go through a ring of fire, like a jump through it. You have a mongoose, nice and long, so the only way to get in the hill is to go off a jump, which is kind of fun to do. It also works good for a tactical jump level, go through the hills and all that. And yeah, it's pretty much all the settings. There are some for other game types. The next one I'm going to show you are the pretty much teleporters. I'm sure you all know this one. If you do not, I feel sorry for you because your maps must suck if you use teleporters. But it's basically what channels are. Normally, if you have teleporters just all laying down, what they are default to start on is channel 0. You can change the channel, so if you change them both to the same channel, that means if you go through that one teleporter, will bring you to there. If you change a channel to like multiple ones, it's kind of random where you go through, so it's not as effective. One cool thing is, just say we take a two-way, right? And we change it to channel 3. And we take a sender and change it to channel 3. Even though the two-way is a two-way, there's not a receiver for it. So that means, watch. Oh. That means if I go through it, and I go through number 1, I come out number 1. I go through number 2, I come out number 2. I go through number 3, I come out to number 3, which is a two-way, but I can't go back through. Even though it's a two-way, there's no receiver on the other side. When they're both number 4 and they're both senders, they don't do nothing because there's nothing to send to, there's no receiving. And when they're both receivers at the same number, there's nothing to send them to, so they're useless. And that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hoping to have some better ones out sooner or later. Leave comments, ratings, and all that. If you have any questions, just leave a comment and I'll try to put it in one of my videos. Bye-bye.